Yo, what's up guys, Colby Cheese here, and I wanted to bring you a little bit of a video for top Olaf. This is something that I found a couple of people were doing. It is pretty strong in the current meta due to a couple of different things, so I wanted to give you somewhat of my first impression style video for this champion. Obviously, he's been out for a long while, but after some of the changes to his ultimate, I figured, hey, maybe I should start doing these type of videos for some of the existing champions in addition to the new champions that are released, so you guys can kind of get an idea for some of the changes. So I did pick up Olaf, and I did play him quite a bit, and you know, at first it took me a little bit to get used to him, but after a little bit I started to understand the real power of having Olaf in the top lane and what he can kind of do and how he benefits the team in team fights and that sort of thing. So right now you can play top Olaf, and he's got some okay sustain if you level up your W. There's a couple different ways to do it. I think generally what you see is that you'll actually level up your E first because it has that great true damage, and then you'll level up your Q, which is your little axe toss, and that'll give you the most burst damage. Now, if you don't level up your W first, you don't have as much sustain, so you're going to have to decide what you want to do based on the lane that you're up against. He's not the best against ranged champions, but he can manage if you just survive the early game and build into your Wriggles and that sort of thing. We'll talk about the build a little bit later. So what it comes down to with Olaf is, can you land your axe or not? And at first it might be a little bit tricky. You do have to get used to the fact that you can kind of throw it a short distance or the max distance. And of course, whenever you do pick up your axe, it'll reduce that cooldown by 6 seconds. So you can really stick to targets like glue. And that's what makes Olaf really strong, is that he's one of those champions that you just can't get off of your carry. So whenever you're playing Olaf, you really are able to just stick to people and really bruise them up and force them out of the fight, or to just take them out completely. Early game, try and focus on running up and last hitting as much as possible, and if your enemy comes anywhere near you, punish them for that by hitting your E on them constantly. You won't get aggro for hitting your E, and you will do quite a bit of damage if you can, and there's not a lot of enemy creeps. You can go ahead and auto attack them, but always, you don't want to take a lot of return damage from the creeps attacking you if you auto attack them, whereas if you E them and they want to try and return fire on you, they're going to take some of your creep damage, and that's the idea, is to just out harass them and force them to lose CS while you're getting easy CS. You don't ever want to put yourself in a position where you have to just stand way back and lose all of the creep score just because you're too low to get in there and auto attack those creeps down. That's the whole idea anyways. What I found is that you will pretty much always take the cloth armor and 5 health potions on him to begin with, and that'll help you out with your sustain early game, and then always build into your Wriggles, and then either the dodge boots if you're facing heavy AD, or you can go for Merc Treads, which you don't necessarily need Merc Treads as much as you do on other champions just because you do have your ultimate, but perhaps if you do need that extra mag resist, you can go for the Merc Treads. Normally though, I do pick up the dodge boots, and that works out really well with him. For your runes and masteries, I like to do kind of like a speedy support tank type of setup. What I'll do is I'll get dodge runes on my yellows, and I'll pick up magic resist at level 18 for the blues, and I'll pick up move speed quintessences, and then you can just take flat armor penetration on your reds. And then as far as the masteries that you go for, you want to pick up your dodge mastery as well as the improved speed when you do dodge, and then go fully down the support tree, and that'll give you the best speed and utility from your summoner abilities. And you're going to be picking up Ghost and Flash. Later on, as the game goes and you get your Wriggles and boots, you'll probably go for a tanky build since your W does scale based off of your total health. And I feel like Olaf just works really well with big HP items. So I'll go for a Warmogs, and then either a Force of Nature, which gives you a ton of health regen, which is great on him, all that sustain, and that should help you out against magic users as well. Or you can go ahead and pick up an Atma's, but either way you can go Force of Nature, Atma's, and that should be able to let you survive against most teams. You got that true damage. You've got a lot of extra bonus AD from a maxed W at at max rank, and you should overall be really strong with that total build there going on forth. He gets just tankier and tankier and stronger as the game goes on. He has super high regeneration from those items, and once you get into a team fight, you want to try and save that ultimate for when you actually do get CC'd, since now after the change, you don't actually have to pop it until somebody does try and stun you. That allows you to sometimes not even have to use your ultimate, and then it can be used for more of an escape after you've done your work. But sometimes you just usually have to use that because somebody is going to try and stop you along the way. The thing is, they just can't can't. The only thing they can do is like, flash out, ghost out, flash over wall, something like that. And that's the sort of thing that kind of messes up Olaf, is if you're not able to take out the main target that you're going for, that's what's really going to mess you up the most, and you can be taken out. But if your team is built properly, Olaf is an all-in engaged champion, so you should be able to properly kick some butt if you just get in there and find your target and stick to them properly. And that's why I like to take Ghost and Flash, because that really complements his ultimate very well. So I want to talk a little bit more about the early game. The early game is the main thing you need to get past. Again, I did talk about spamming your E in the lane anytime you get a chance to. There are some champions that are not going to be necessarily worth doing that, at least at first. Like if you're up against the Cho'Gath, you probably want to level up your E just a little bit more, and then once you get a little higher level, you can start harassing him with that, and it'll do more damage, because obviously a small amount of damage will be healed very quickly. But if you can get people to pop those health potions, you do have your health potions as well, and that should work out really well for you. For anyone that has like a shield or something like that, try and wait for their abilities to fall off and then go and use your E, and then you can do the max amount of damage that way. So if you're facing like a Scion or a Riven or anything like that, wait for them to try and shield up or dash, and then you can go in and use your full abilities on them in that case. Anyways, my overall impression is that in the current meta, Olaf is pretty damn strong. He works as a really, really good tank and damage dealer. You can't exactly ignore him, but it's really hard for you to do anything about it other than to just focus him down and kill him. So that's the main thing that makes Olaf strong. If you want to really beat Olaf, you can switch your AP carry up to the top lane, and that will probably deal with him quite well. You just have to make sure that your top laner can deal with your mid laner at that point. So there's a little bit of a trade-off in that case as well. So overall, I do like Olaf. I think that he is a viable choice. He may or may not be outclassed by other champions. It just depends on who you're up against and what the whole team comp is and what you're trying to go for. Overall, though, I do enjoy playing him. He is a lot of fun. It takes a little bit of getting used to with his axe, if you ask me. But once you get the hang of that, it's not too bad. You can usually land most of them, and since you can just go pick up that axe after missing one, it's not too hard to just wait a little bit longer and throw it again. You have a lot of chances with that, and you can really stick to your targets and do big, big damage. The true damage really does help out a lot against tanky people. Even though normally you'll be attacking their carries, you don't ever want to go focus down their tank. That's just kind of silly. The cool thing is just the fact that you can really stick to those targets, and I've said that probably like 3 or 4 times this video. I just really want to make it known that that's the big awesome thing about Olaf. I'd say pick him up and try him out if you're into those top lane AD carries, those tanky bruisers. It's definitely my style of play, and I do enjoy it. I'm glad I bought him and picked him up. He's a lot of fun to play for sure, and I look forward to seeing him played more by people after this video. Hopefully you guys get something out of this and learn a little bit from it. Definitely leave me a comment. Let me know how you're playing Olaf and some of the stuff that you've seen out of him, and also be sure to help me out by pushing that like button if you did enjoy this video to let me know. It really helps me out. It's not too hard to do, but yeah, there we go. There's Olaf chasing down that Ashe, and this is a crazy fight right here where at the very end I was able to stick to that Ashe. I wasn't sure if we were going to win this game, and I just barely make it out with hardly any HP, and then a Jack in the Box almost kills me, but I make it out alive. And that's it for this guide. I'll see you guys around for the next one. This is Colby Cheese. Peace out.